What's going on, everybody? It is Monday, November the 14th. I'd like to welcome everybody back to my channel. Uh, Man, it does feel like it's been quite a while since I've come down here and made a video. At one point, I did think that I was getting ready to deploy, as I did accept a job overseas, but of course, per usual, things like that, it doesn't always work out for you, so I came down here, I made like 30 videos, or at least I felt that way, over a course of a 3-day period. So after I finished those tournament videos, I did come down here and actually make a few videos for the new Eric Boyer figures. So all of those have already been posted. So yeah, it's been a minute since I've come down here to make a new video. So as of this morning, I did post the 4th video of the 2nd round of the My Favorite LJN tournament. So that's still obviously ongoing. This video, I'm getting back into some of my favorite videos, which include not only the comparable LJN videos, but the shout out videos as well. So this is kind of going to be a 2-in-1 special for me. Recently, I did meet up with a new customizer. Well, I don't know if he's new per se. He's new for me at least, and his name's Mark. If you get the opportunity to look him up on eBay, Hack316 is his screen name, and he's come up with some pretty absolutely remarkable figures. And most recently, he's come out with a new Hulk Hogan, Series 1 Hogan, the Macho Man and Elizabeth Mega Powers version. Asking about $150 for it right now, so anyone interested, I think that's more than reasonable, considering the amount of work and stuff he puts into his figures. I really wanted them; they were amazing, but I already have the Mega Powers set, so that right there, I just prefer to put that money aside for other purchases. But again, reach out to him, see what he has. He's shown me a lot of pictures of a lot of customizations that he does, and they're pretty spectacular. So again, this is going to be a shout out video for Mark and for his eBay. I don't know what to call it, channel, his eBay account. But it's also going to be a comparable LJN video as well, because I do have one figure. I bought 3 figures from him, so I'm going to mix this up and put a 2-in-1 for this video. And right at the tail end of this video, I'm also going to include a secondary account from another, not really a customizer, but I'll talk about it a little bit more as we get to that point. So, the very first figure I'm going to look at, this is the last figure I bought from him. Per usual, I always like to start off with the original LJN version prior to getting into any of the customized figures. So, out of Series 2, King Kong Bundy, one of my all-time favorite figures, absolutely amazing. Just like the Lex Luger figure from Galoob, or you could also look at George the Animal Steel from LJN. I despise that particular pose so much, but with this particular figure, maybe it has something to do with the fact that, you're looking at an 8-inch figure as opposed to the Luger 4-inch figure. So maybe that exercise does work. Because it's rubber, you got the little movable arms to an extent. Even though he has or lacks the pose that I covet, other than Greg Valentine, this is the most commonly used figure that I would have, and it's an absolute beauty. I mean, obviously a big guy, just the overall folds and everything throughout his entire body. Singlet, beautiful figure. I really believe that this was going to be on my top 10 list of my all-time favorite LJN figures, and he didn't crack the top 10. I don't know where I'd put him, maybe 12 or 13. He's definitely a top 15 figure in my opinion. Maybe not quite elite, but he is a top tier figure. One of the best. King Kong Bundy, absolutely love it. So this one came from Mark. This was the 3rd purchase I got from him. And a lot of these customs that I got from him are very simple for the most part, but he did a really great job. And the first one, I don't recognize this at all. I know there was a version where I tried looking up King Kong Bundy where he was like decked out in like white t-shirt, blue jeans, but it's something different. It's something I don't have already, and I absolutely love it. This cape, I don't know what that's all about, but it is so amazing. And when I bought the figure, he would show me photos. This cape didn't originally come with the figure, but I was sure to inquire about that because I definitely wanted it to be a part of this particular lot for the cape and figure. So right off the bat, we'll start from the feet up. Awesome upgrade to the shoelaces. Adding some more color to the figure. They didn't go all the way down the arms, but they did color on a nice little t-shirt for the figure. And in fact, I'm trying to feel around. I don't actually feel the little suspenders, because when you actually touch the figure, it's clear as day, but it's nice and flat on both the front and back of the figure. So that's pretty awesome that they kind of shaved that down or something. Created a nice, beautiful figure, a nice, beautiful T-shirt, and I really enjoy that little. I don't know. It's not a stencil, but it does feel like a sticker or something. So you actually can feel the part of it here. I'm gonna call it a sticker because what else could you call it? Decal maybe. Just a very simple figure for talented artists. But it's such a beauty, and I really enjoyed it. And it's probably my second favorite that I've gotten from them thus far. One of the very first purchases that I picked up from them. And I'm missing a figure here. Just give me one moment. I'm sorry, guys. I really hate pausing right in the middle of my video. But I looked at this figure on the shelf, but for whatever reason, I didn't pull it off. So this figure right here, these are just duplicates. These don't come off my primary shelf. So next one we're looking at is the Nikolai Volkoff figure. So as we all know, I mentioned it 1,000 times. The very first LJN figure I ever purchased, and I had no intention on keeping any of the LJNs. I just thought that they were going to be big and they were going to be a hot ticket item. I thought, okay, maybe I could buy a few here or there, maybe sell them, turn a few bucks, not anything crazy. But when I acquired the figure and I held it in my hand, they got me right there because there's a good chance that I wasn't going to give it up, and if I was going to put a huge price tag on it. Absolutely love the figure. Again, when I first started collecting LJNs, my fourth favorite figure, just right behind, Giant and Hogan and Stud. And obviously he fell off my top 10 list, by the time I completed the collection. Still a top 15 figure, still one of their best. The only thing I dislike about the figure is a super big hunchback in the back here. Sometimes they when they customize this figure, they kind of shave down that part, which is pretty nice, but it's still bulky, and that's the only bad thing. And of course, his arms being a little bit small inward, that kind of takes away from the figure overall. But I absolutely love the Nikolai Volkoff figure. One character that I kind of remember, like not like a Virgil type. Now, he worked for the $1 Million Man as part of the $1 Million Corporation. I could never remember who it was, but I just remember him, slapping on this t-shirt and just being completely humiliated on a weekly basis, going in and watching those matches. Now, not the 1 cent man, but the nickel and dime Nikolai Volkoff figure. This has got to be one of the most gorgeous pieces of my entire collection. I absolutely love this figure. He does, like I said, he's got these little stickers. They're not handwritten or sculpted onto it. He has these little, I keep calling them stickers or decals, which, it fits beautifully on the figure. Again, you take that away and, you think it's a relatively simple paint job, but these little decals, man, again, you don't have to be, the greatest artist in the world. If I could buy something like this to slap on my figures, this truly amazing. I absolutely love this. Now, they didn't shave, they may have shaved the back, and the reason I say is when you feel the back of his shoulders compared to the original, it just feels so much more flat. I didn't think I would ever have a Nikolai Volkoff custom, at least not actually Nikolai Volkoff. Obviously, I've got figures like Sergeant Slaughter, for example, where they took Nikolai Volkoff, but Volkoff himself, this was such a great find. And I just kind of was, do what I do, search eBay on a daily basis, and I just kind of came across this, and I'm like, man, I gotta jump on that. That is an absolute beauty. Nikolai Volkoff. Again, guys, his name is Mark on eBay. His screen name is Hack316. So, get the opportunity. Right now, he only has like one item up on his site. But, send him a message. Hey, I'm interested in customs or something. If you're interested in a figure like this, I'm sure it's not a problem for him to go ahead and make another one. So, that is my favorite among the 3 figures I've acquired from him. The last one, it's about the easiest paint change customization that you'll ever find. I bought it, and I bought it for one reason only. So you remember when you're looking at the LJN card backing, I just pulled a Big John stud. Now this is I have one of these hanging up on my wall with the 5 wrestlers on the back. This one, obviously not as special to me because it's not the original 5. But, it's still a Big John stud. It's still a carded figure, so I'm good with that. So, this next figure is Hillbilly Jim. Hillbilly Jim is possibly the most customized figure that you're going to find. And this guy is just absolutely everywhere. And not just, customizing by giving him a different paint job. They're constantly chopping off his head. They're putting it on other characters. My Brutus Beefcake figure with Hillbilly Jim's head on it creates Jimmy Garvin. I've seen Mike Stiers on YouTube, cut off the bottom, cut off the hips, and use the legs for Big John Stud to create a referee figure. And yeah, like I said, it's just a very customized figure. I'm going to get into this a little bit more detail shortly, because I have a few more follow-ups I'd like to talk about in regard to the Hillbilly Jim figure. So, as you notice on the back of the LJN card, the original prototype for Hillbilly Jim was not that of a red shirt, but in fact, he had, I don't know if you can really see it on the camera, but he did in fact have a black shirt. And so, when I saw this, it was a very simple change, but I'm like, you know what, let's go for it. Let's get the Hillbilly Jim with black t-shirt. Again, nothing else has changed. Actually, I lied. They did change one thing. So when you look at the suspenders and everything, or the coveralls, suspenders is all blue. He's got this little handkerchief in the back, all blue. LJ didn't really change anything there. On this figure, he actually did fill in the suspenders with these little metal hooks, which is great. And he even gave the handkerchief a special design. And I think he may have darkened the hair just a shade in comparison to the original figure. But even the shade of blue has been upgraded, and it's just an absolutely remarkable figure. Hillbilly Jim in itself, this is a really good figure right here, because even though this is a backup figure, a spare, I would never customize this figure. This figure has very minor paint loss on it, and why would you destroy a perfectly good figure, to create either new characters or just simply give him a paint change like this, If I'm looking for a figure I want to customize or have someone customize for me, I want the figure to be absolutely tore up, absolutely paint job wise is going to be 100% changeover. But the Hillbilly Jim from Mark, absolutely fantastic, love it. And I bring this figure up for one more reason. So a couple weeks and I love these little new stands I got, but man, they're destroying my figures. That sucks because I just scraped the heck out of this figure. I'm not happy about that. But anyways, like I said, I did have a whole lot of figures that I was trying to sell on eBay. Could not get what I wanted for it, so I'm like, you know what? If I can't sell them, let me make use out of what I have extra. Mike Stiers had this really awesome Santa Claus figure that he used from Hillbilly Jim. I thought that looked so amazing. With Christmas coming up soon, you know what? Here's a project for my wife and I to do something together. So about a week and a half ago or so, we're out at, I think it was Michael's or something, and bought up a bunch of paint, brushes, what else did we get? Primer, things like that. So we decided to work on a few figures. And one of those figures included the Santa Claus version of Hillbilly Jim. Now, I talked about not wanting to destroy a regular Hillbilly Jim that has very minor paint loss. I don't have pictures, or I don't know how to put clips of pictures into the videos. So, but when I looked at the original Hillbilly Jim, the entire coveralls were almost completely gone. The shirt was faded. The hair was faded. It was just, you weren't going to do anything with it. That was a customizable figure, and I'm actually glad that I had that one now because I was able to get an amazing figure. Now, my wife actually did this one for me, and she did such a fantastic job with this figure. I told her, she's not an artist, but again, she did a great job, and I think anyone that might be interested, you know what, you guys can reach out to her. When I do post this video, I will put both Mark's his information in the comments, and my wife, she does have an eBay account as well. It's called Fine Vintage and More. Now she sells a bunch of Victoria's Secret stuff. I had a bunch of wrestling figures that I put on her account, trying build up her money and whatnot. But she did a perfect job with this figure. Not only did she get the hair perfect, that beautiful green Christmas T-shirt, the coveralls were pristine, and same thing. She gave the figure added color with these black buckles, and even filled in the handkerchief on the back. My buddy Robert Jackson, he is actually going to create a custom Santa Claus robe for me for this figure. So I think that's pretty spectacular. Like I said, these little paint chips and stuff, that wasn't there before. These little metal hooks, I keep seeing them. People use these little Barbie doll stands, and they look like they work so much better than the stands I buy on Etsy, where the figures are always leaning back forward or backwards. So I'm like, you know what? This is more likely to keep them in place, so I'm good with that. But as you can see, they're not perfect because they're cutting the heck out of my figures. So that is the three main primary figures for this video. Again, the Hillbilly Jim, King Kong Bundy, and the Nikolai Volkoff figure. So, doesn't necessarily pertain to this video, but I figured I'd bring it up because my wife did a really great job, and I want to give credit for her, give her her own shout out as well. So we had a Hulk Hogan Series 1, one of my favorite figures, and I decided to go with something simple, like a Thunderlips from Rocky 3. Again, very simple figure, just white trunks with red boots. And I like what she did with the shoelaces. Again, absolutely remarkable, because not only did she have this really awesome red paint that she filled in and the white laces to blend in beautifully, with the original figure. But, and you look in the background, it's got this really nice black mark to really make the white pop. I thought that was so incredible. Now, obviously, I think this is Remco. I don't know. Now, obviously, this figure didn't have no headband or wristbands or anything like that. But I'm like, you know what? They're already on the Series 1 Hogan, so we might as well just paint those white and make him all white. Make him try and blend in as much as possible with this figure. So I just thought that was really cool. You know, I talked to her about it, possibly doing this, not necessarily as for a living, but you know, she could do a few figures when things I can't sew, and you know, she's a lot more handy with the brush than I am. I tried creating a Big John Studd referee, and I butchered that figure. From the waist down, it's actually a beautiful looking figure, solid black paint, but once I got to the t-shirt, I have no idea how people make those straight lines, and it was just impossible for me. I'm thinking about just going back and scrubbing that all out and starting from scratch, but I just put a lot of work into it, so I'm really not looking forward to doing that. But that's it for this video, guys. Like I said, shout out video for Mark, Hack316 on eBay. This video, let's see, I had 4 videos. I posted 4 videos already, so I should have 2 more videos for the second round. And I'm thinking in between the second round and third round, I'll post this video. That way, I'm not necessarily cutting into each individual video, but maybe just cutting in between each round with a video or 2. All right. Once again, everybody, you know, thank you so much for watching. As always, I always appreciate you. And have any questions or you know want to chit chat, always looking forward to reading your responses in the comments and responding in a timely fashion. Alright everybody, thanks again, and I will talk to y'all soon. Goodbye for now.